So, I'm not sure if you can hear it. Hopefully the volume is good. There's a thing popping up. All right, cool. So, I want to go over flying fingers. People talk about it all the time. Most people do it. I think everyone does, especially when you first start. It's when you're taking your fingers off the fret, kind of an extravagant amount. It feels natural at first, and that's why it's kind of cunning. Cunning, it's a weird word to use. That's why it kind of sneaks up on you. Same thing. So if you were to play a major scale, no flying fingers, just or it's gonna look like you're playing something really difficult. People will do it a lot. I won't call people out individually for it because why? Most people just don't know. But if you see someone like being a tryhard about something and they're really digging in, their hands are like all over the place. How it sneaks up is we're really trying, for me at least, I mean, it was a while ago, but the way I would do it, I would really focus on taking my finger way off the strings, making sure I hit, and then that part. It's kind of like telegraphing your finger. If you're boxing or hockey or any of that fun stuff, you are telegraphing before you go. So you're lifting, hitting, and that's how you get into a really bad habit with doing it. There's a time and a place when you're playing live, fucking go for it. Like, who cares, really? Because then everyone says, oh, it's not about image, it's about the music. Go look at your favorite metal band and tell me they don't have an image. So that's a little different. But if you're talking about getting better as a player, you're going to want to use minimal movement on your fingers. And it's a weird paradox because the less you move your fingers, the faster you play. I said it in the last video I posted, or two videos, I forget when. Something about how you go from beginner to shredder. It's by not moving your fingers a lot. That's how you keep them anchored in, as opposed to you get nowhere. It's when we're playing above our capability. But I also chirp all the time, you have to play above your capability to get better. In order to do that, you have to keep proper technique. So you can play above your ability if your technique is good. So with that one right here, I'm anchoring down on 14, called pedaling. So I'm going to come back to this note each time. So just so you could see it, I'll do another video for it again to deep dive in it. This way I can get closer to the camera. But I'm always hitting here. So this finger is gonna stay right over that fret every single time. It's barely moving. Favorite practice exercise. All right, favorite practice exercises. My favorite practice exercise is when I take something and make it musical. It's not I hope that's a direct enough answer to that question. So if I were to play a minor scale, it's not fun for me, and it's not my favorite because it's not fun, and I don't think it is for anybody. But if you make it musical, take the same notes and limit that to just using those notes, and then practice that in different sequences. Different sequences meaning not going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 in a 7-note scale. Go. I'll throw an accidental in there. Let's do the scale instead. It's going to be 1, major second, flat third, 4, 5, flat 6, major 7, octave, harmonic minor. So my favorite way to exercise that out and practice is just coming up with the groove. So that's one of my favorite exercises. And then you can really mess around with it. But there's freedom in constraint, which is weird. That meaning you're free to do anything you want in that scale, as long as you use that scale. When we come into writing, you can do anything. But the difference between doing anything in some avant-garde where I just put a drill to my bass and record the noise and say it's art, which it is, sure. But if you want to get better as a technical player, give yourself parameters and only work in those parameters as an exercise. That's my favorite thing to do. And that could go for any exercise. So if I take a Mixolydian scale, which is the fifth mode of major, fancy pants stuff for 1, 2, major second, major third, perfect fourth, perfect fifth, major sixth, minor 7, octave. You do that over and over again, and you're gonna get really fucking sick of it. So what I would do there is something I came up with was messing around, descending it. So starting on the octave and then just going downwards. So that's the first phrase, and then I'm just gonna lower each note of the scale. So hitting the octave. So I'm going octave, 7, 6, 5, 4, octave, 7, 6, 5, 3, octave, 7, 6, 5, 2, octave, 7, 6, 5, 1. And I use that as an exercise for everything because it lets me hear what the scale sounds like when it's applied to music. Because after a while, they call it, radio fatigue. So I'm not a first responder, more power to them, absolutely. But you'll hear them, like cops, firefighters, medical, first responders, they'll hear the radio and it just sounds the same after a while. And that's a dramatic example because you'll miss some serious shit that's going on. But with music, I get the same thing. If I'm just ripping Mixolydian or Dorian or any of that stuff, it all sounds the same. So what I do, this will be archived, so go back to it. But that same sequence of it lets me hear the color of the scale. So then I'll do that one. Let's see, we have Ionian. Yeah, we could do Dorian. So it would be. Oops. Going down, hitting each note. Minor. Which is I think that's a Sabbath song. Hold on. Fuck me. I think that's Sabbath. If it's. Let me try to figure it out. Favorite Sabbath bass line? By far. I haven't played in a while. Oops. That's a good one that you can, I can't play, just talk and play. That's a good one to mess with your own originality to it, because you could do it all you want. I put that one, I'll put my 3 fingers to like. I'm kind of fading through it. The bends are so, yeah, and then with those bends, that's how you could add your personality to all that stuff, because if you play it like a robot, you'll see it when you go online. You'll go to like Guitar Pro? One of those things, or Songster and stuff. You'll see the MIDI bass line, and it's almost impossible to play it like a robot, but I'll put my fingers up here, just like Geezer Butler, to get that. Those little slides, and that comes with playing something over and over again. It's hard to just pick that up and throw your spin on it. That's why slow is fast and fast. No, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So once you learn, then it's a lot easier to be like, when you know it like the back of your hand. push and pull. You have any really good singer. I'll go as far, like Christina Aguilera does it all the time. Say what you want about pop music, that chick knows how to add character to anything she sings. Eminem would do it with rap, because he'll take his words, and like a jazz drummer, it's very similar with a snare drum. With he'll come into he'll enunciate different words to hit the beat the way he wants it to go with his flow. That's the idea that you use to make your own style of playing a bass, or playing any instrument. It doesn't really matter, but this is a bass channel, so we're only going to talk about bass for the most part. I brought out, I think, a acoustic guitar last time to show how to write, and like everyone left the live video. So kudos to all of you for doing that, as you should, because I shouldn't be doing that anyway. Trying to think, other favorite exercises. Let's see. Octaves are fun. Like whatever you don't want to practice is probably what you should practice. To say what my favorite exercise is going to be something that is going to be difficult at first. Like octaves were just playing everywhere, but then you can get into the syncopation of it. So I do like slap bass, but I don't listen to any slap. So like I'm not blah blah as I stutter. I'm not that good at it either. I used to be I had a phase where I was really into it, but that's a good exercise to do. It's just hammering on. Everyone knows the Seinfeld one, right? I gotta remember it. Nope. Now it's on the spot. Oops. Damn. It's been a while. Put me on the spot, right? I know that part. That could be it. Whatever. But yeah, I do like slap. I just haven't gotten into it. I hear people talk about, like, if you had to name your favorite slap, like, bands or artists that you listen to, I'm pretty hard pressed for it. Like, Larry Graham is amazing, but I don't really play. That's like the most I'll get into. The Virtuoso stuff is amazing. I just put a post about that. It's funny you mentioned slap. I put a post in mentioning the Seinfeld theme in the community thing. I could like kind of run it like a Facebook wall or whatever, and it's playing what's good for the song. And usually the type of music I listen to doesn't fit. Primus is just unreal, so I don't really mess with it. I love listening to it. Rage Against the Machine is not a slap band though. They just have one song, and I'm trying to remember what it is. It's usually it's in D, but most of his stuff is just really hard to tack. For Tim Comerford, I think is how you pronounce his name. But like that stuff, like Killing in the Name of, is it's gonna be distorted. Of course, it's a tiny little lamp, but that's not. He doesn't actually do that. Trying to remember what other slap stuff. But yeah, if I had to think of a slap band I listen to, I'm hard pressed for it. And I don't play to impress people. That's an important part too. Play what you like doing and get really good at it. If I had to figure out slap for a gig, I'll be able to do it, but you should set up so you can see the full side wall and the other art. Props on John. Yeah, John Wayne is coming along. He's right there. I could probably just move the camera. Like, here, no one knows where I live. No one's jumping through these windows. Let me see if I can turn this around. You should set up. Yeah. So there you go. That's all the artwork over there, and John Wayne chilling down there. Nails, Sharpies, so all individual little tiny dots on really, really big stuff. So, oh, I know who's asking that. Hi, Dina. No, that doesn't go here. Messing up my setup. Trying to keep it on bass-related stuff. So, what else? Favorite exercises? Slap would be that one. I love it too. It's gonna be 5-7, 5-7, 5-7. Not that good at it. So like I said, stuff I should practice is stuff I don't want to. So that's going to add to my routine. Another way of slapping for practice is back to octaves. So just go 3 and 5, and I work on that double hit too, though. Just go with it that way. Another big one that I like, I'm a big speed fan. Like, fast shit is cool, but it only is good if you're articulate with it. So I really get into triads. And then going, what I'm doing there is 5, 3, 1. So if I'm on that scale degrees that I'm talking about there. So I'm going 12, I'm going 11, and I'm going 14. It's a major triad. So I'm going that way. So it would be 5, 3, 1, and then 4, 3, 1. And I build it up. So back and forth, and then to do a pull up, I pull my pinky. And then I go down to that would be diminished. So going 12, 9, 11. So I'm following the scale. That's where theory comes in. Once you know that, you can do it. But to learn theory, I really don't give a shit. It's good, like fly the plane as we're building it type of thing. So that would be a major. And then diminished, minor, which is going to be 11. Well, diminished is 12, 9, 11, and then 11, 7. What the hell is that? 9, and then back to a major triad. The reason I try to stay away from tabs on that is you're going to learn the finger pattern of a major, like when you're playing 12, 11, 14, those fingers, that middle finger, index, pinky, that's going to be a major triad anywhere you play it on the neck. Doesn't matter where you put it. Same thing with minor. When I came down here, which is pulling teeth. That's the Cliff Burton stuff. It's all triads. And he's just changing the sequence. And then descending on that last time around. So, and then major triad. Just going descending. Up. Descend. All that is major minor. So minor triad on D, the 12. And then we're going to go, what the hell is that, C? Back to D, minor. Major on C. Minor on D, up a whole step. For a minor triad, up a half step. For major, down, minor. So learning those positions, and then how you could play the same thing in different finger patterns. So again, that middle, up a string with your index, and on the same string with your pinky. That you could also play, say we have the octave here, you can go start with the root note on your pinky, next string, ring finger, and then the next string, index, because each finger is assigned to those 4 frets. So, is the same as, because 12 on the A string, and 7 on the D string, the exact same note. They're both A. All the way up. Figuring that out will save your hand a lot of trouble, where people get worn out from playing if you're jumping up and down the neck. That's why 5 strings are cool, because you can keep, for the most part, actually not for the most part, you can keep your hand in one position. If you had to keep it, those 4 frets from the low B all the way up, because you're only getting 5 extra notes with a 5 string. You're getting the low B all the way up until you get right around here before you hit the E on the lower one. That's the phantom string. That's not here. So that's another way. Favorite exercises. That's tough. That's a good one. That'll get you really moving fast. And you can start it slow. Until it's clean. That's important too. When you are playing it, make sure it's clean. Don't really go too much faster until it's clean. If you're faster and not on time or anything like that, it's gonna sound like shit. And even people that aren't musicians are gonna be, what the hell are you doing? It's like there's no point. Another good one to do is a classical one. I learned this a long time. I was really young. I don't remember what it's from. I'll figure it out and I'll do another video of it. You get your hand on the same string. So what I'm doing there is 1 minor third, 2. And then you can go down the strings. I'll do a definite lesson on that one, regardless if I don't even remember the name, because then it goes. It really stretches your hand out, and it keeps it minimal movement with no flying fingers on that, as opposed to like shifting your hand and everything. Fuck that. Just oops. And that's where you feel that burn come in too. Like you'll actually feel your hand start, like any workout, it'll get sore, you'll start feeling it burn a little bit. If it hurts, if it really starts hurting, stop. There's no point in doing that. Practice something else or just put it down. And a big one is no matter what I'm practicing, especially the harder it is, then once I'm like frustrated, right before I get to that point of frustration, I just put the bass down. I won't pick it up for maybe a day and I'll come back to it. And I don't know, I've been looking for studies actually on this just in my free time or whatever. I gotta focus and actually look for one because I'm sure it exists, but you can learn a lot. 4 fret span is hard on the low. It is hard, which means you should practice it. But what I was just really quick before I ADD around and get to that, when you put it down after practicing for a while, you will learn it. Like you could learn it in your sleep. You'll come back to it with a fresh mind, and it will be a world of easy. It'll be much easier than it was prior. Those 4 frets, I can't stand that exercise. I'll just admit it. It's really good. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but it sounds just like hard work. I said like like a Pavlov kind of bell for me. I'm just like, ugh. But using a chromatic scale, you can do New Level by Pantera. I do exercise by starting at the 3rd fret. Micro shifting is a good one. Yeah, but if you're really gonna focus on just getting that, micro shifting is great, especially if you're playing live. But if the purpose of your exercise is to get your hand stretched out, then the only way to do that is to stretch your hand out. Don't take the shortcuts. A lot of people I'll see they're taught to put their ring finger over their pinky if they can't build up the strength yet. I'm not a fan of that. Teach your own. There's plenty of people, and there's really good teachers that'll tell you to do that. I just don't do that. I fully believe that you gotta actually build it up, like no training wheels kind of thing. If it's gonna sound bad, good. You're not supposed to sound good when you practice. It's to get it to that level. Speaking of levels, so a new level. That has a micro shift in it too. That's a great lesson for doing everything we were just talking about. 0, 1, 2. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times on the 5th fret. And then move it up the next string. So that's fucking dope. Like, it's a lot better than doing it that way. I mean, do them all, it's fine, but for me personally, and it gets you in a rhythm and a groove, and it's literally called groove metal for a reason. You're gonna learn a lot out of it. trying to think what other ways. 5-note stretches, a big one that's a little more, I don't want to say advanced, but back to saying how 12 and 7 are the same note. So 12 on the D string is the same as 7 on the G string. So that's going to be a 6. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frets difference, but it's over here. So I go. So 12, 7, 12, D. You see that? I just all the way down. I repeat that. That's going to give you flying fingers a little bit because you have to stretch that hard. But going like this, I'm not doing that shit. So you're going to tuck I tuck my elbow in more to really get in there. It just naturally curves in. You'll find what works for you. But the point of that, the reason why going slow at the start of that is you'll see how fucked up you're playing, if it's really bad or not. Like, if you cock your arm out, it's gonna be really hard to play, and you're gonna naturally start grinding it in. Like when people say there's no easier, softer way, in music there is an easier, softer way. What you're naturally doing is fine, almost always. But this is also the internet, and I don't know anyone's skill level. I don't know I can't see what you're doing, so I can't really correct any bad habits, which is why I always say get a actual bass player. Get someone that can do lessons with you. I actually do them online. If you go on the main page, it's just 1minutebass@gmail.com. Send me an email there, over Zoom and stuff like that. I'll work with anybody. So reach out to that. I don't even plug that enough. I should start doing that. So this is me doing that. If you're one of the 4 people currently watching, go for it. I'm more than glad to do that. It's definitely affordable. We'll talk about a price on it, but I have to see where you're at to give any advice on correcting people. Like just saying it through a text that I see and then talking about it, I can't really see what you're doing. I've had some people do some wacky shit to me, but to them it's normal, so it's not, right? Like a lot of times people will curve their thumb over, do that one, which is not very good, strictly because the reason you want proper technique is because it makes playing a lot easier, even if it doesn't feel like it at the time. With that said, you could break rules all the time. Like if you're playing, I know people, I don't really do it, but some people play the bass line here, you get into 2-hand tapping, they'll hit the root, that's just next level stuff. If you're doing that, you probably aren't watching these videos. That's some of the virtuoso stuff that's out there that people are always ripping on. Thumb on the edge feels more natural than thumb in the back. Yes, but also I'm cool with that. On the back of a lot of basses, they'll have a line that goes straight down, and some people will make their students keep it there the whole time. I don't do that. Like, there's no way. There's no one person that plays bass that has all the answers for technicals. The reason behind it is like when you learn how to write script, everyone has to do it the exact same way, and then you kind of figure out your own thing. But to keep it that way forces you to focus on the notes and how to properly play it. Then you can really get your own style. I find that I keep it in the middle when it's down here. Then up here, I'm on the edge, like, my thumb is, how would I naturally, it's weird because now I'm overthinking it, like, where's my thumb? Yeah, it's up here. Because down here is more, and as it comes, that's why a lot of, like Dingwall, I think invented it. If they didn't invent it, they popularized it, the bass company, the manufacturer. Their frets are fanned. So instead of straight, they're gonna go this way. I use a 5-string though, so it's not different. The 5-string, I'll grab the 5-string. It's not like, how is it different? I'm trying to understand that. It's different because there's another string, but the principles apply. Oh, you're talking about your thumb coming over? Let me grab the 5. Give me 1 second. This thing's gonna make a big loud pop, so sorry. Oh, wasn't that bad. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab the 5. Let's see what happens. All right. Yeah, for muting. Oh, muting on a 5. Yeah, that's a great topic. An easy fix, but it's got to be really, I don't say vigilant, but you have to be very aware of it. Otherwise, there. So like when I'm muting, if I'm not playing E or B, sorry if this is rumbling a lot. I don't know if it's gonna really work. Ooh. Hopefully it's enough. So if I'm playing anything above an E string, my thumb is resting on the B, no matter what. And what I'll do further than that, I'll rest my thumb on the E string, and then this part will come, I don't know if you could see, there's a space, and I rest it. So it's resting on the B, the side of my thumb is on the B, and the tip of my thumb is on the E string. That's how I can get up to here. Like what I was playing before. Because if you don't do that, if you're up here, anything that hits this, it's gonna rumble. You won't hear it live too much. A 5 string you'll hear it though, because it's such a low end rumble. In a recording studio, everyone will notice, and people just think you suck. But the way to solve that is a fixed position. And by the beauty in it being a fixed position is you don't have to worry about it. You just plant it there, and then you forget about it until you need to slide down all the way. It comes with practice, and it's much harder to do that with a 5 string. I know people say get a 5 after 4. I played a 4 string I started playing when I was 4 years old, and I just turned 37, and I got a 5 string less than 6 months ago. Because I was a purist or whatever. I was an asshole is what it comes down to. But I don't recommend doing that. I fully think you should get a 5 string. It doesn't matter what order it is. There is no better or worse. But with the muting, there's pros and cons. Back to playing in one position, like I was talking about before, moving notes to here. I can play a 2-octave major scale. Let me get it right. That way, as opposed to having to slide up on a 4. Thumb 5 plays good. Yeah, learn the thumb thing you're talking about. Yeah, exactly. Where you put it right here, it helps a lot. But the thing with the 5 is it's not so much the lower notes, but the pattern and the layout of where the notes go. That makes it so much easier. Like if I'm playing in thirds, if I'm playing G in thirds on a 4 string, I'm all over the place. But I play G here on the low, on the 5. I only had to shift one time with my hand. Same thing going backwards. And then if I want to do octaves, that's what I would have to do on a 4 string. Is I run out of real estate, but since I have the 5 strings, I could go right. I haven't played it in a while. There it is. So that's the push and pull of each instrument. Depending on what you have, depends on what you're catered to with a lesson. And that's again why private lessons are great. I didn't realize this was going to be a plug for private lessons that I do, but really it's the best way of doing it. You can learn so much going off the internet, especially on here. You have digestible videos. Like the 2-minute video might take you a month to do. Like I have a video of a major scale in thirds, 2-octave major scale, and how to do that. But where I talk about the shifting, how I know when to shift my hand is I'm moving this finger up a whole step, even though I'm not playing it. It's hard to explain on a video. So this index is shifting up to here, and then I'm playing my pinky on the 4th, because it's 4 frets per finger for our hand. So right here, I'm not thinking about my pinky. I'm thinking about moving my index finger up 2 frets to there. Oops. And the same thing with octaves, not octaves, arpeggios. I reset the E even. I can't keep reading. How do I see these comments? I only see them pop up for a second. I have to go back and read that. Sorry if I missed that. You just played a 5-string and kept popping off. I'm not sure what it said. But back to, like, I'll just keep going with what I was, I don't know, I'm awful at these live videos sometimes. With hand shifting, I'm looking at my index to see where I'm shifting that root note, and then I'm going my index finger up a whole step, playing my ring, because it's just going to be there anyway. Index, index, up a whole step again with my index, playing the ring, up a whole step, playing my pinky. And that's how I managed to see it. It was really difficult at first. I learned that from a guy named Patrick Pfeiffer, who's next level bass player. Definitely go look him up, check his stuff out. He's done everything. Muting skill is just as important as playing skill. Absolutely. Muting is as important, and more so than that, we'll branch off of that idea and that fact that I would say is muting is more important, is when you're writing, knowing when to shut the fuck up. As a bass player, when you're coming up with a bass part, which is my Mike Tyson impression, when you're coming up with a bass part or a bass line, just mirroring the guitar the whole time, you don't have to do that. It has its place, but most songs that are really dynamic have a bass drop and then they cut in, like, or in the actual bass line itself, if you have rests, like Brand New does it, up in Long Island Band, like. That part, that staccato, and then you legato, which is fancy for just, staccato is stagnant, is how I remember it, and long is legato, holding the notes out. So when mirror in the bathroom too. Oops. That's a big part of it. Knowing when to shut up and when to play is huge. And I'll also use my thumb and mute up here if it's on the 5, if it calls for it. It's hard for me to think about when I actually do it. I have to do some deep diving on my own playing while I'm doing it. But I'm trying to think what else. Harmonics are a fun exercise too, where you don't actually push down. So I use my pinky on the bar, the actual fret of 9, 9, 7, 5. And then you can come up with your own bass line from that, so, and then really get intricate, so. It's just about finding a sequence. It's really what a bass line is. And then you could really mess with the, I don't know if you could hear this on it, but I haven't done this in a while. See, I wasn't muting that. I don't know if you heard it. That if you rewind it after I archived this, that low B was rumbling out because I had my thumb down here and it naturally was going. So. Have fun with it. That's the idea. If you're not having fun, it's a matter of time until you put it down and don't pick it up, and only pick it up when someone asks you to play and all that stuff. Most of this work is done alone. That's the cool part about music, and definitely with bass playing. You could work on becoming a monster on the instrument and then play what the song calls for. So, like a 12-bar blues, that's why that's so popular, because it's quote-unquote easy. But you can build on that like a ton. So that same line, if you add in your bass playing and your own personality to it, oof. It's hard to improv while it's filming or videoing. But the idea for that is, it's a lot like Sabbath. You figure out a riff, and then from there, if you start writing your own metal songs, you have a foundation and a blueprint to go off of. Whatever you come up with. Like, what was the other one I did recently? Drop D. So when you're listening to music, think about what they're playing, think about the emotion, the feel, whatever it gives you, and you'll start like that half step slide up is a pretty cool trick that I use all the time. Like, the only reason I know is from Slayer. I know that hand position, and I know if I'm writing, I like the way that sounds. I don't think theory. I know it now because it's second nature. But that's not what I'm thinking about when I'm writing it. And then going that way, what I did there is theory. I put a Byzantine scale. And then back down. Going there. So hopefully, how much time? My phone's going off like crazy. Hopefully that'll stop. 40 minutes, yeah, I gotta bounce. Any questions, please leave it in the comments. Again, private lessons I do. I do them through Zoom. I do them anytime you want, as long as it fits in. I have a pretty busy schedule, so I can only do like 2 or 3 people at a time, but not at the same. Maybe I could do the same time. I don't know. Email me. It's 1minutebass@gmail.com, and maybe we'll get that underway. So yeah, that's all I got. Videos will resume. I have a new place. It's awesome. Thankfully, no sirens went outside driving by because I'm right in downtown. But yeah, all good stuff. Thank you guys very much for watching, as always, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.